6. Another great one for you today in this tremendous series that features matches and interviews from the Tennessee Stud Streaming.com channel. It's one of the most recent and successful wrestling streaming channels in the world, and it's probably due to its reasonable subscription fee of $4.99 a month. Save 15% off that and buy it yearly for only $49.99. We are currently featuring old school wrestlers and videos from Southeastern Championship Wrestling television shows of the 1980s. The Tennessee Stud Streaming.com channel is owned by one of those old school wrestlers himself, Ron Fuller, the Tennessee Stud. His channel has hundreds of hours of TV shows from Southeastern, Continental, USA wrestling companies, plus one of the best weekly podcasts in the world, Ron Fuller's Studcast. Now with 392 episodes and almost over 8 years can be found on the streaming channel. Our featured wrestler today is Jerry Stubbs, a star in many Southern territories. To some, he may be better known as Mr. Olympia. He is one of the rare wrestlers that ever won a world championship in any NWA territory, and he did it more than once in NWA Southeastern. I want to begin our ride with undoubtedly the most unique 6 months in any professional wrestler's history. Jerry Stubbs went from a pretty much unknown heel to a world champion babyface, then finished the 6 months wearing a mask as a superstar called Mr. Olympia. Please take into consideration some of the videos you'll be seeing today were shot more than 40 years ago. Jerry Stubbs' 6 months began in November of 1980. Stubbs was wrestling Ricky Gibson, older brother of Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express fame.
United States Junior Heavyweight title on the line as champion Jerry Stubbs defends against Ricky Gibson. These men separated in weight by 4 pounds, about a half an inch in height. Your official in this contest is Jimmy McGuire. Stubbs attacks Gibson at the outset, crashing the belt down across his head. And Jerry Stubbs leaving nothing to chance as he opens up on his challenger. Stubbs, a very, very tough champion. No doubt about that, he's wearing the belt. But realizing that Gibson himself is a tough challenger and has held title, high into the air with a backdrop, and Gibson stunned on that one. Both men can go scientifically hold for hold, counter for counter. But Stubbs has elected to open his offense with an assault of elbows and punches, and thus far it has stood him in good stead. Stubbs with that headbutt sending Gibson back to the canvas, and Gibson has not even had a chance to get into this match. Ricky has opened it on defense, and that's where he's staying at this point. Gibson needing a little breather here, and Stubbs, realizing that he has a challenger on the go, is staying right on top of Ricky Gibson. Gibson with a small package, and Stubbs is able to bail out. Jerry Stubbs bails out, moving in wide open on Gibson. Gibson took the time to cradle him up and small package him, but was unable to retain the hold, and Stubbs bailed out. Stubbs with a nice forearm now, going for the suplex. Stands Gibson high and dumps him. Jerry Stubbs with a beautiful suplex, but before any count is made, Gibson bails out. Ricky Gibson not to be counted out, but nonetheless, he has been stunned and he is hurt, no doubt about it. As Jerry Stubbs, the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion, moves in to take full advantage of everything he can get here. I would have to say, had this match started even up in a neutral position, we would be seeing a fine wrestling contest, but Stubbs would not allow it to happen that way as he took advantage at the referee's instructions. Look at here. Gibson slides through, hooks his man, but couldn't hold him on the cradle, and Stubbs bails out. Gibson has still been slowed down, and Stubbs realizing he has time now. But Gibson right back at him. Possibly champion Stubbs is taking too much time. too much time, not trying to put his opponent away, savoring the fact that he can punish him, and it has cost the champion on several moves. Forearms well placed by Stubbs. He shoots Gibson in. Gibson with a flying body block. And before the 3 count can be told, Jerry Stubbs bails out. An elbow by Stubbs staggers Gibson. Gibson finds the ropes, and he'll get the break. Your commentator was looking for a fine wrestling match here, but I have been disappointed by the champion. Gibson comes off that second turnbuckle. They're trying for a diving press, but Stubbs moves out of the way, and Gibson knocks the wind out of himself as he lands. But Ricky will not allow those shoulders to stay down for the count. A tenacious Ricky Gibson is hanging tough in this match. Gibson with a backslide. And Stubbs is out of that one. Gibson has been weakened to the point that he cannot control Stubbs on his tries for a pin. On 3, 4 occasions now, he has been able to get a 2 count, but Stubbs has been able to bail out. Body slam by the champion as Jerry Stubbs moves into the corner, and he will go to the second rope legally. Goes for the elbow and misses. Gibson moving out of the way. And Jerry Stubbs has hurt himself. Stubbs down. Gibson stunned. Both men have been stunned, and neither man 100% at this point in the contest. A beautiful knee by Gibson now as a challenger. Makes a valiant effort to battle back. A 1 count as Stubbs is able to get out once again. Gibson favoring his back. Shoots Stubbs in, goes for the drop kick and misses. Rick coming down on the back of his head is stunned himself, but he's able to bail out. And again, a 2 count. In a matter of a couple minutes here, we have seen 8 or 9 tries for a pin by both contestants. Neither man being able to hang on. And the referee is caught in the middle and knocked down. Referee Jimmy McGuire caught as Stubbs came off the rope. Gibson just standing up, and McGuire was stunned. Over the top rope by Jerry Stubbs as he pitches Ricky Gibson out. Had McGuire been on his feet, the referee certainly would have disqualified Jerry Stubbs on this particular rule infraction. Certainly that moves intermediate disqualification, but the referee, unable to see the action, can only start to count. Gibson back in. Stubbs into a rolling body scissor, trying to pin his man, and has the ropes and gets the 3 count. With a rolling...
He was also United States Junior Heavyweight Champion at that time, and that match was Loser Leaves match. By the time our next video was recorded less than 2 months later, Stubbs had won the World Junior Heavyweight belt from England's Les Thornton.
224 pounds from Oklahoma, Roy Welch. Roy Welch. At 225 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, the World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Jerry Stubbs. Jerry Stubbs. Jerry Stubbs, what can be said about this man's career in pro wrestling of recently?
Oh, well, he's, of course, the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion, held that title longer than any other man, and now they're taking the belt around the waist of Les Thornton, which is no minor chore, Charlie, when you get right down to the brass tacks of it.
National Wrestling Alliance World Junior Heavyweight Champion, takedown by the champion.
And, of course, he's got a good junior heavyweight in that ring right now. Veteran Roy Welch. On the reversal with the arm drag, nice takedown. You know, a lot of people comment on Jerry Stubbs' attitude, his ego, his style in the ring. As I've said so many times, Charlie, throughout my wrestling career and watching other people in that ring, the bottom line is the dollars in the bank. When you're the world champion, you're putting more of them out of your division than anybody else.
Jeez.
It's on defense now. Of course, this is the posture of many of the world's champions. Lay back, Let the challenger, let the man that wrestles bring it to them. Look for the opening. Of course, Jerry Stubbs, as we mentioned to Brad Armstrong earlier in the program, you're at the top of your division right now, and the only way to go is down, and everyone's gunning for you.
Quite a test for Brad Armstrong. Really a test. Good move by the Welch. 2 count on the champion.
Stubbs bailing right out. That is true, Charlie. Everyone thinks, well, it's awfully hard work. It's a lot of hard work, dedication to get to the top. But it's even harder work and more difficult to stay there.
Stay on the top. Exactly right. And I think the theory you were talking about, it really makes sense for a champion like Jerry Stubbs to stay on defense during the match and look for that opening, because if you get too aggressive, that right man's going to come along sometime and it's all over.
Most definitely, Charlie. At any stage, in any division, any weight limit, or any region or world title, you work hard to get that belt. You want to hang on to it at any cost. It is money in the bank. It is prestige. And certainly, you're not going out there. You didn't win it by making foolish mistakes. You can't hang on to it by doing that very well.
Side headlock by Stubbs.
Been playing it close to the vest. He has opened up with Roy, and rightly so. Can take advantage of a slight opening or a slight mistake on your part and turn into a win for himself. It's been good many times. And right now they're in the ropes by Roy, and doubles the champion up.
Catches his money open coming off the rope. Certainly, talk of Jerry Stubbs. His accomplishment champion. Again, you've got to look at it this way. Excellent opportunity for Welch. Right through, get that champion off guard. It's a non-title match to defeat the world champion.
Strong bargaining position. It comes down to contact time. Get over the champion. Of course, on the subject of Brad Armstrong, junior heavyweight champions, Jerry was rather distressed that he was not in the one-night tournament in which Brad won that title. But certainly he's got a title now that is a notch, as far as this country is concerned, above that. See these two young, aggressive U.S. junior heavyweight champion and the veteran world junior heavyweight champion.
And right now, the official Stubbs begins to open up on Welch.
Jerry is methodically chipping away at the defense of Roy Welch now. Welch done. And they coming up slowly. Stubbs has that knee and high on the. And Roy coming up slowly now. To the ropes for a little assistance. Stubbs right on top of it. Jerry realizes he is in the driver's seat. It's the 1 point, Charlie, and he is opening up. He's moving in, taking advantage. He's left the door open before he's taking a chance of going over the threshold.
Smart move by Welch. Use that bottom rope. Break is called for by Bright. Forearm to the side of the head.
Stubbs moving in on him again, and another well-placed point. Roy right back at him in the shot to the midsection again. And Welch now taking some of the win of champion Jerry Stubbs. Jerry coming up slowly, favoring the back. Welch throwing the forearm. Going again with that right hand. Grabs the headlock now. Stubbs goes to the elbow with a miss. Going for the drop kick, but Stubbs is able to catch him midair. Turns him to the grab. One with good leverage takes it. Stubbs is saved. The good exchange series, probably by both wrestlers. Stubbs comes out on the top, catches his man with a 3 count. Nice pin. Beautiful series that molds Jerry Stubbs, world junior heavyweight.
He was obviously still a heel and also hanging out with some dangerous characters, the Southeastern tag champions Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. The match in our next video was going to change his life forever. He was still the world junior heavyweight champion, but he refused to put up his belt in a TV match against fan favorite Brad Armstrong. But but then required Armstrong to put up his United States junior heavyweight belt or he wouldn't wrestle him.
From Atlanta, Georgia, Jerry Stubbs.
Jerry Stubbs, the challenger. Brad Armstrong, the champion. His championship month here on Southeastern Wrestling. We've got action. Collar and elbow. Headlock, takedown by Stubbs. And, of course, we mentioned last week, Charlie, a title match on television means a shorter time limit, so the challenger must carry the battle to the champion. He must open up early. Stubbs in control offensively now. We might mention to the fans a little sidelight here. The fact that Jerry Stubbs was one of the people instrumental in the training of Brad Armstrong for the professional ranks. So to some degree it is the teacher and the student in the ring right now. And of course in this instance, the student is the champion and the teacher the challenger. As you mentioned earlier, Jerry Stubbs holding the U.S. junior title longer than any other man in the history of that particular belt. And Brad Armstrong, the youngest wrestler to ever hold that same title.
The professional career of Brad Armstrong, less than 1 year old.
That's right. Of course, you know, there's always heartbreak in a career also. Down the road now. And the sudden success. Brad has handled it well, and hopefully on those down periods that this young man will be as competitive, as strong of will, and concerned with what's going on in that ring as he is right now when he is at the top of the heap in the United States Junior Heavyweight Division.
Stubbs calmly taking the offense in this match, and as you mentioned earlier, it's going to take the challenger taking it to the champion because of the time limit on television.
Stubbs has been in control. He moved right in. He took the headlock, had the takedown, and holding Brad on the canvas. Certainly Jerry Stubbs, as he mentioned on our interview earlier today, is the veteran of the team crew in there, Armstrong and Stubbs. So certainly you've got to give him the edge there. Tackle, a nice one by Jerry. Brad moves through that hip, beautiful. Good reversal. Armstrong takedown, hangs on, traps that arm. Stubbs using a handful of hair, takes his man over into the reverse chancery now.
This probably lists two of the more colorful personalities in pro wrestling today. You have Brad, of course, and we've mentioned it 100 times, a young man, 18 years of age, the youngest U.S. junior champion ever. Jerry Stubbs held the title longer than anyone else. Also, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. And apart from his arrogant personality, you have got to hand it to Stubbs. He's an outstanding competitor.
Stubbs has got the credentials, no doubt about that. Right now, Jerry opening up. I was feeling a strategy earlier. He had 19-pound weight advantage and his experience, taking Brad down with the headlock and the chancer, going to that front face block now. He seems to be using his weight, hoping to wear Brad down early. Apparently planning on opening up, cutting Brad's endurance down now, taking the speed away from him. And, of course, Jerry can move well in that ring himself. And with that 19-pound weight advantage or so, that I think he's going about it the right way. Brad battling back, opens up a nice double shot to the midsection, and Stubbs is slowed down temporarily, Charlie.
Stubbs backs away. What a career for Brad Armstrong, and what training he has had in pro wrestling. Takes his man over into the turnbuckle.
The main thing, I think, with Brad, Charlie, he's taken the practical experience in the gym and put it to work and on-the-job training, which many times you can teach a good athlete in the gym, but under fire, he cannot apply what he's learned. Brad has been able to do this very successfully. Stubbs out. Brad trying for the pin, moves in now, going for that small package. May have his challenger here, and Stubbs able to power out. Stubbs still very much in this one. Brad now on the offense, and he has just taken control in that particular category. Moments ago, a nice elbow sends Stubbs to the canvas.
2 count again on challenger Jerry Stubbs.
Brad moving in with that headlock, and Stubbs down.
Trying to stay in the middle and not pull for any opponent as we're supposed to do. I feel that Brad should be very cautious because putting that title on the line on television is one thing, but putting it on the line against a man who held it as long as Jerry Stubbs Brad cannot be too cautious at this stage.
Exactly, Charlie. Well, you know, I was just going to say, I sit here as a former wrestler, second guessing. I don't really know what's in Brad's mind or in Jerry's, but Brad had him on the go. Now, Brad has settled in. I wouldn't have done that, but of course he's wrestling a different strategy than I would have done. But again, we must point out that Stubbs the veteran of the two. Brad Armstrong has certainly set the wrestling world on its ear in a very short period of time. Just some 7 months as a professional now has held 2 major titles, and this one being the most prestigious thus far, the United States Junior Heavyweight belt. Going for that second tackle, Stubbs anticipates and stops him cold, doubles him up with that shot to the midsection. So there with the experience of Jerry Stubbs is coming to play. Nice move by Brad, but Stubbs coming under that rope, and Brad caught himself on that top. Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose with a board wanting Jerry Stubbs to plow away at Brad Armstrong here, Charlie. And it's Stubbs. Stubbs undecided. He can't make up his mind. He's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it. Jerry Stubbs telling Condrey and Rose to get lost. Wait a minute here. Condrey and Rose move in, and they stop Jerry Stubbs. Brought that board down across Stubbs' forehead. And Brad Armstrong helping Stubbs out. Condrey and Rose considered that board, and here comes Bob Armstrong. Condrey with the board now. Use it on Bob last week. Saito moves into that ring. And Charlie with that mass confusion. This title match certainly has to be considered over at this point. Ron Flinker moves in. Flinker chopping away at Saito. Austin, Orndorff, and others. Stubbs. Back this one up and recap briefly as we keep our cameras on the ring. Jerry Stubbs was handed a board by Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. Stubbs undecided, and I think Condrey and Rose may have made a decision for him. He wouldn't use the board.
Obviously, Jerry Stubbs was not what people thought he was, but he paid a heavy price for showing it. It took 15 stitches to put him back together. He changed his ways and to prove it joined Bob Armstrong and Paul Orndorff as their partner the next week in a 6-man Southern street fight against Dennis Condrey, Randy Rose, and Mr. Saito. It had been almost a month since he had beaten Les Thornton for the World Junior Championship. Thornton did not come back from England until March of 1981, and he found a completely different Jerry Stubbs, but still forced him to defend the belt in 4 out of 5 straight nights before he returned home. The next video is just a little of one of those 4 World Junior Heavyweight matches.
That's right. You know, I said I wanted to be 2-time World Junior Heavyweight Champion, and I was. Now I want to be 3 times World Junior Heavyweight Champion. But at this point right here, you notice on the film that I put the sleeper. You know, I went to Ken Lucas, and Ken Lucas showed me this. I'm not a master of this, but I can use it enough to wear my opponent down, and that's exactly what I want to do to Les Thornton, because Les Thornton stays in tip-top shape, and I knew that I was going to have to do something extra to wear him down, to defeat him. Right here, he was able to push me in the rope, but you see, I have wore him down. I hadn't put him to sleep, but I have wore him down to where he's almost out. But he's a hard man to put out, Charlie.
He's a great athlete, Les Thornton, of course, Manchester, England, the World Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Well, you know, you say he's a great athlete. I know for a fact that he gets in the gym, he works out hard, he stays in top shape, and he is a heck of an athlete. And he wouldn't, you know, if he wasn't a heck of an athlete, he wouldn't be World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Right here, I got the man wore down. I'm wanting to pin him. I roll him over. Here goes a 1, 2, but you see, he's always got that little extra. That little extra is what you got to take out of the man. If you can take this little extra out of him, you can defeat him. Seems like he never gives up either.
And into a pinning position again.
Right here, I thought I had him, but he had his foot over the rope.
Excuse me a minute here. I just want to say something real quick to interrupt you. I wish somebody to go there and tell Mr. Saito I'm ready. Anytime he is, I'm warmed up. I'm ready to arm wrestle him here on TV. So somebody just tell him I'm ready at any time he is or at his convenience, anytime.
Well, the comments of Paul Orndorff. Back to action on this videotape.
Well, right here, the tide's turned a little bit, Charlie. You know, Les Thornton, like I said, is a hard man to beat, but I beat him twice for that belt. 2 times. Right here, he knocks the referee out of the ring. See right here, I'm wore the guy down. I'm gonna hit him. I'm thinking of cross body block, but see, he takes me and throws me over the top rope. He knew what he had done. You know, a lot of people said I pulled a lot of tricks but you know, I have. And all the time, I'm thinking in that ring just like he was. He was thinking then, well, I'll throw him over the top. I'm going to keep my belt. The referee's got to see it. And at this point, I didn't think the referee had saw it. I'm trying to come back in the ring. Here he goes to slam me. See, I go down. I hook him right here. I think I got him. 1, 2. I hear the count. Here, I think I got him. But the referee says no. He's trying to tell him that, he threw me over the top. Well, that's okay. Les Thornton, you elude me all you want. But I know for a fact that you didn't want to come back in this area down here. So,
you know something, Charlie Flynn? I've watched this reject from a Walt Disney Film Festival long enough. I've seen this stupid film on TV the past 3 weeks, and I'm about to puke. Let me tell you something, Jerry Stubbs. What you were, what you have been means nothing now, because I am the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion. I represent the country, and I'm the only man who should face Les Thornton, and he won't even sign a match with me because he's afraid, brother. And you put that in your pipe and smoke it. So you think you ought to wrestle Les Thornton? As far as I'm concerned, the only thing you're a contender for is the Telly Savalas Fan Club Member of the Year award, Stubbs. If you think you're math to get in the ring against this belt, get in the ring right now, boy. Come on, huh? You think you're math to do it? You want to wrestle me now? Hey, I'll kick your can right now on TV. I don't care where the hell it is. Come on.
You're scheduled to wrestle Joe Turner at a match here.
He wants to wrestle me. Well, you know, it really doesn't make any difference who I wrestle, so I'll wrestle him right now.
All right, we're on. Let's go to the ring. And Stubbs, big jump by Lane going into the ring. We've got us an unscheduled main event any place in the country. United States Junior Heavyweight Champion Stan Lane, former World Junior and U.S. Junior Champion Stubbs. Lane with a nice takedown, and certainly Lane moving now. But, Charlie, we should have quite a battle. But Lane taking that initiative, the reverse neck breaker, and still Stubbs not coming up. He was stunned early on as he entered that ring, and Lane taking full advantage. And Lane continues to work on Stubbs. Wow, he's taking him into that turnbuckle now. Modification of a cobra, it looked like, going for a sleeper. He's got it hooked in. Haven't seen Lane using this hold before, but certainly he's got it. And if he can hang on, it should be effective. Stubbs fighting, but now has been slowed down. The light's starting to dim for him, Charlie. And Jerry needs to fight his way into those ropes or something to break free. The U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion coming out, challenging Stubbs. I think Lane has in mind that he's a little upset that he's not meeting Les Thornton for a title shot in this area.
Of course, either one of these men very deserving. And of course, Stubbs, 2 times World Junior Heavyweight Champion, certainly should get the nod. But right now, Stan Lane is applying that his variation of the Cobra, the sleeper, to Jerry Stubbs. Still in there kicking. And apparently Lane not familiar enough with the hold to put his man out early on. And this allowing Stubbs now to come to his feet. Trying to fight his way out. He may do it, Charlie.
Stubbs coming out of that sleeper. Stubbs firing away at Lane. Hard right. And Lane goes down. Stubbs back to his feet for the first time.
Scoops him, body slam, and Jerry Stubbs building an offense now. Stan Lane being stunned. And down he goes, that looping right hand of Jerry. And Stubbs very much back in this one now, Charlie.
Stubbs firing away at Lane, takes his man, throws him into the ropes. High back body drop. Stubbs has come to life, dropping that elbow into the back. Lane may regret that jumping of Stubbs as Stubbs was trying to get in the ring, Les.
Exactly. Lane outside. Stubbs follows him out. They're battling on the floor. The referee's starting a double count now.
And I don't think either man is paying a bit of attention to our official in that ring now. Still out on the floor. That's it. Both men counted out. Both men counted out.
Same card with the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race. Les Thornton won his belt back on the first of the 4 title matches in 5 days. Stubbs won the last one. Thornton returned to England, and Jerry Stubbs began his second reign as World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Jerry Stubbs trained so hard after his second win of the world title. He gained so much muscle and weight that when Les Thornton returned the next time, Jerry Stubbs was wearing a mask and calling himself Mr. Olympia and handed Thornton the belt and never wrestled as a junior heavyweight again. Fans, we hope you enjoyed today's episode of When Wrestling Was Wrestling. Join me next week for another fantastic episode featuring one of the great stars of Southeastern Championship Wrestling here on When Wrestling Was Wrestling.